Stuart, may I ask a question?
Yes, of
Um, would you speak about why it's important to be erect to keep the spine straight during these classes and any other time we work?
Well, not only during these classes, but you should walk with a straight spine. You should, I mean, you should know this better than anybody.
I do.
I mean, look, uh, the spine is the only area in a human being where energy rises. Understand, there's no other place in the body where energy isn't subject to gravitational pull except the spine. And what rises up the spine is the energy of Kundalini. That energy is the pathway to spiritual enlightenment. So if your spine is crooked and you're bending over and you're, whatever, I got a little hunchback, instead of going across a highway it's going over a country road. And it's very difficult. And there's usually, when the spine isn't straight, there's a lot of pain. There's a lot of discomfort in the spine. You have to do these subluxation things and get the, whatever it is, all those parts of the spine functioning properly. So the spine is very important, not only in meditation, but just in basic human health, in people feeling good about themselves.
Hmm.
So if the spine isn't straight, I mean, if a person is walking, with their shoulders like this or hunchback or whatever, you understand, it just creates an enormous amount of tension inside a human being. So my suggestion is try to keep your spine straight. And in class, it's essential. You know, I mean, look, I had a student in Texas years ago who was in a car accident. This is before I met her. And she was paralyzed from the neck down, and she would sit in meditation classes and have amazing classes. So the energy rises. But if the spine isn't straight, if the spine, it just acts as a facilitator to get the Kundalini from the base of the spine to the crown chakra. And as it rises up the spine, each chakra is connected to the spine. So it nurtures the heart, it nurtures the tatien, the chakra below the navel. You understand? It nurtures the third eye, because every chakra is connected to the spine. So, I mean, this is a class in meditational anatomy, but a very important one because, it's essential. And when Kundalini rises, it helps to strengthen the spine. Being focused in the chakra below the navel gives you strength inside so the spine can get stronger. All of this is very important because there really is an anatomy to Kundalini Yoga. I mean, the heart, throat, mind, brain, sex, below the navel. It has its own unique anatomy, which is connected to ordinary life functions. And ordinary life functions will work better if the chakras are open, if the spine is crooked or hunched, or makes it much more difficult to open the chakras. And it also, as you should know, Pat, creates a lot of pain in people. A lot of pain. You got to straighten people's spines out, to get rid of a great deal of pain.
Hmm.
So yes, it's really important in everyday functioning in life to keep the spine. I mean, when I was a kid, my mother would keep your spine straight. I mean, how many people have had their parents tell them that?
Yeah.
Keep your spine straight. And, and I had no idea what she was talking about, but I would straighten up, and years later, I really profoundly understand the importance, especially people in the dance world. My God, the spine has to be really erect and straight. Does anyone else have a question?
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome.
Stuart, I have a question.
Yes, well,
When I was in my 20s, I had surgery that cut the tendons that support the shoulder. And from then forward, it's like, I mean, I really have to not strain, but it's like I'm really having to uh, move things to uh, find alignment with the spine. And but there's a balance between there's a certain amount of strain to that as well. Um, do you have any ideas how to find a balance with all of this?
well, the only area I know of in a human being where you can build balance and foundation and strength and rootedness and everything that you're asking about is the chakra below the navel. You know, keeping your mind, don't bring your mind here, don't bring your mind, keep your focus of attention in the chakra below and use the energy of mind to open that chakra. And you will begin to experience chi. You should begin, you should be experiencing it already, but more chi and greater power inside yourself and a greater ability. Look, uh, when athletes perform, when they're really in the zone, whenever, when a guy is shooting from 30 feet out and making baskets one after the other. I mean, we got the, March Madness going on now. And when everything's working it's because somehow they have managed to get centered below the navel. They're not thinking about it. They're not emotionally doing it. There's clarity, centeredness, balance inside them. It's the same thing in dance. You see great dancers, when they really are at the top of their game, you can see their tension is right below the navel. You can see it, when the Hindus made the statue of Shiva with the circle and the fire and the light and all the arms. If you look into the eyes of that statue, you'll see that statue is focused directly below the navel. That is where the power is. That is where the power is to open the entire chakra system and to also deal with the kind of problem you have. If you think about it, you just make it worse. But I think, as I can see it anyway, building that kind of chi inside you will enable you to deal with the problem that you. I mean, I've been talking about this for 40 years now, building chi. Or, it's Rudy talked about it, and every day that I was with him, building chi. Because it's really that, in one of my books, it's talking, if there's a hurricane, you understand, trees without strong roots will get blown away. Trees that have really strong, powerful roots will not get blown away. And human beings kind of live in a hurricane. Tension, insecurity, all kinds of endless problems that they have to deal with every day. Be they whatever, financial, family problem, all kinds of stuff. It's like we live in a hurricane. We need to be rooted, grounded. There isn't a person alive who doesn't have some kind of physical disability, something that hurts them inside. I mean, I know I have things like that.
Hmm.
Only way I can deal with them is I've got to get centered inside. I've got to be grounded. I got to be have that rootedness in myself that enables me to deal with these things. So that's my answer, go where the power is. And we seem to think the power is in the mind, but it's not, because the mind is just one barrel of endless conflict. And it creates more tension than human beings really need.
Mm.
So we need to learn where the power is, and not only learn where it is, but to strengthen it and build it inside ourselves.
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome. Just an addendum to this diatribe on staying centered. Look, we have a pain. Instantly, the mind goes there, instantly. And the mind just feeds it. And the pain usually gets worse. If we detach ourselves from it and we don't feed the pain, you understand, if we stay centered in the chakra below the navel, build that grounding and we detach ourselves from the pain, usually we heal up in a tenth the amount of time. I wouldn't say always, but usually people heal from these physical problems in a tenth the amount of time. And don't feel victimized. Everybody has them, I don't think there's a person alive that doesn't have something bothering them physically. It's just being here, being alive, and we have to learn how to deal with it. And instead of succumbing to it and letting it drain our energy out of it, we have to use it, and teach us how to get stronger inside ourselves, deeper, more connected to spirit. Does anyone else have a question? So as I announced earlier, tomorrow I have to do something I really don't like doing. But I really have to do it. I do it every 2 months or so. And it makes it really impossible for me to teach the meditation class. So basically all I can do is rest. But going into it, I know that if I stay centered inside and keep myself balanced, it makes the process a lot easier to go. And I used to go to dentists years ago, and they would drill a cavity, and I would tell them that I didn't want Novocaine. And I would use the experience to go above the pain. It was really interesting, and it worked. I had a dentist who totally freaked out and refused to do it. So I had to go to another dentist. But I learned it worked. I was able to use that pain as a way of detaching myself from it. And I stopped doing that now. But I used to do it when I was younger. I would go to a dentist. And I learned that you can do it. You can detach from pain. And it has a frequency. You can go consciously above that frequency. Does anyone else have a question? Okay. So the next class will be Wednesday evening. And thank you all. As I always say after every class, you're probably getting sick and tired of me saying it. Thank you. God bless you all for being here, doing this, being part of my life. And your presence is amazing. how it helps me to grow, not only all of you, but me to grow, and teaches me how to work to connect with higher energy in the universe. So thank you. God bless you all. And there'll be a meditation class on Wednesday. I'm looking forward to seeing you.
Thank you, Stuart.
Yeah, good night, Stuart. Thank you.
You.
Good night.